turning that switch on the billionaire brain computer.
And real quick, I want to shout out my second mom, Miss Yvonne. Miss Yvonne, you still on here?
You better know it.
Miss Yvonne, man, Miss Yvonne, me and Miss Yvonne go way back. Me and Miss Yvonne met when I was working at a plumbing company as a billing commercial biller,
Mm.
probably 2012. And I ended up leaving that job after about 2 years, but stayed in contact with Miss Yvonne. You know, she would invite me to her Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas dinners, invite my mom to her cookouts, and we would go over there. And you know, she just became like a real second mom to me. And she would, you know, cook food for me bring food, you know, from home to the job
Wow.
for me to eat and stuff like that. And we just built a real connection. And then she went through a traumatic experience where she went through an abusive relationship. She made a post on social media that she was real vulnerable about, you know, about how
Hmm.
she was being abused and stuff like that. And I reached out to her and I was like, look, I want you in this part of this community. I want you in my mentorship. You know, she ended up joining the mentorship. You know, she ended up learning a lot of things. She started discovering stuff about herself. It motivated
Wow.
her, you know, once she met Destiny in my mentorship, um, to start her own community and start sharing with people and helping and healing people. So now she is actually helping people that's going through abusive relationships or
Yeah.
battling adversities in life and things like that. So now she's coming out her comfort zone, but I always seen this in her. You know what I'm saying? That's why this mentorship stuff is so important because I can see stuff in people that they can't see in themselves. And sometimes people can see stuff in me that I can't see in myself. That's how I got started with this because my mother encouraged me to do this. And I didn't see this in myself. And my mother kept pushing me. And then I started doing it. So now I try to do the same to other people. And I try to find, you know, when I see people can do certain things, I try to motivate them and push them to do it. So Miss Yvonne started stepping up. She started applying this stuff, getting out of her comfort zone, going to speak on different people's platforms, stages, being vulnerable, sharing her story, the ugly, harsh truth of how she was abused, how people were abused, and things like that. And then when I recently just had this health scare, got sick, you know, I just reached out to Miss Yvonne. I was like, Miss Yvonne, you ain't gonna believe I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking. She know I love to drink and I love to smoke. And I said, man, and I love to have sex. And I said, Miss Yvonne, I quit all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be focused. I'm trying to find my purpose. I want to live longer. I want to help more people. I was like, Miss Yvonne, you got them beautiful grandbabies. You got a wonderful family. Me and my mother talk about you and your family all the time. And I know you want to be here as long as you can to see these babies grow. We gotta do something about this, you know, this health, this drinking, this smoking, this what we eating. And Miss Yvonne, just tell them what you did.
And that's on God. Jeremy called me on I left an abusive relationship, and y'all trust and believe it was more mental, emotional, verbal, and psychological than it was physical. But he did put his hands in my face a couple of times. But and then God had just been telling me, I always knew that I was gonna speak to people because my husband committed, he was an army vet, and he committed suicide on August the 5th of 2014, the day after I came from New York from burying my baby sister. So I
Mm.
always knew that I was going to talk to people, but I thought I was going to talk to vets. But in reality, my husband committed suicide because he had cancer for the third time. And
Wow.
I used to call his mother Bible toting Betty because this man's mother eat, breathed, lived, and slept God.
Mm.
But I'm just realizing now, he killed himself in 2014. And God said he'll make stuff make sense to you. I'm just realizing now in 2024. And I'm a faith-based person. My husband did not trust and believe in God. And I understand that now because, dude, how you gonna let me have cancer for the third time?
Mm.
Not once, not twice, but the third time. And then when I was in New York, it was one of them things where he went to the doctor and they told him, you got so much time to live. And my
Mm.
husband had always told me, just in like conversation, like I'm talking to y'all, he said, baby, I'm not doing this. And I was like, dude, what is you talking about? Like, you got a daughter. That's a nurse. Like, we gonna wipe your butt. We gonna do this, that, and the other. My husband was like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. And he took, he took the easy way out or whatever, but it makes sense to me now. But when I gave God my yes to do a domestic abuse on May the 26th of 2022, that's after I left a relationship on July the 10th. And my bonus son called me on the 13th. Jeremy called me to see what I needed, if I needed a place to stay. Do y'all hear this? This baby reached out to me and said, Miss Yvonne, do you need somewhere to stay? Do you need money? What do you need? And I said, I don't need nothing, baby. I'm good. He said, but I need you to get in my mentorship. It's starting on whatever date it was, but it actually was July the 13th. I don't remember what day it was. I just know it was the 13th. And I've been locked in since July the 13th of 2021. And he told me, he said, Miss Yvonne, you got a gift. And I was like, I got a gift. He's like, Miss Yvonne, I watch you. You always helping people, even when your life is upside down. Like, you always helping people. And I call my superpower that I have a superpower, and that's that I'm a mother. And I really am. I've been in restaurants eating dinner, and somebody would just stop at the table and tell me their whole life story. And I'm looking at God like, come on, dude. Like, why is people always telling me all their business? Like, I ain't asked them nothing. But the latest and greatest thing, and I really appreciate my son, and I want to give him his flowers. I smoked cigarettes on and off for years. And I got 2 5-year-old grandbabies, and I promised my daughters when I had them grandbabies in 2018, I had promised my daughters that I was going to quit smoking. And I did quit smoking. But I was in a thing where I couldn't, I wasn't stable, and my mind was all over the place. So I started back. So Jeremy had been preaching on his platform that, stop smoking, stop doing this, stop doing that. And he called me on December the 10th of this year. And he said, Miss Yvonne, I'm just calling. At first we was texting or whatever. So I guess I think he got tired of all them long ass text messages. And he just picked up the phone and called me. He was like, Miss Yvonne, look, I'm calling. I'm telling everybody that I'm connected to that I genuinely love. And this is what his verbiage. He said, I'm going to need you to quit smoking. The crazy thing is, I was getting ready to go buy some more cigarettes right there in Newport. That's what I smoked, Newport Shores. I had 3 cigarettes left. And I said, you know what, son? I'm going to quit smoking. And here's my hand to God. It'll be 2 months on my oldest grandbaby's birthday, which is this Saturday. I ain't had to eat no candy. I ain't picked up eating a whole bunch. It just left. And like they're teaching these mentorships, when you have your why for stuff, like stuff just start clicking. Like he said, it's the law of the universe. Like stuff just start happening.
Yeah.
Jeremy, guess who I'm in a mentorship with right now for the next till March 1st?
Who?
Eric Thomas.
Oh wow.
Every morning at 7 o'clock.